Zhao added the water bubble into the spatial water. It was not toxic and the quality was also good. He then turned to the pile of black soil that had not been processed yet. The pile was half a meter high. He already knew he could now use the spatial earth and water to transform the black soil, but he did not rush it. He wanted to conduct some tests first to find the best way to rehabilitate the soil. Looking at the pile of black soil, Zhao said, "Spade. Split this into 10 equal parts." Under Zhao's command, the shovel automatically divided the black soil into 10 smaller piles. Zhao could not help but be delighted. It seemed like as long as it's within this space, everything would act according to his will. He then thought of something and decided to try it. Space. Calculate the optimal ratio for the black soil improvement. Cannot be calculated. Zhao cursed loudly. Looks like I can only rely on myself. The bucket filled itself with spatial water and then flew over to his side. Then picked up a small spade and started digging up the spatial earth. The reason why he wanted to calculate the ratio was because he was afraid if he used too much of the spatial earth to improve the black soil, then the amount of spatial earth might decrease. He relied heavily on this spatial farm. If this space was destroyed, there would be no way to achieve his plans. He would return to a life of being poverty-stricken, with nothing to do but live in the black waste until he died. With this in mind, Zhao wanted to calculate the optimal ratio of spatial earth and spatial water needed to transform and improve the black soil. This would allow him to not overuse too much of his resources. Although the spatial farm had the basic settings of a game, it was still Zhao's last resort. Couldn't just play around and treat it like a game. Every step he takes must be calculated to get the job done right. Zhao first tried the spatial water. He spilled some on one of the small piles of black soil and attentively watched for any changes while carefully checking the ratio between the spatial water and the black soil. After absorbing the spatial water, the black soil immediately changed. Its dark color subsided a little and it also became less gritty. After the small pile of black soil improved, Zhao made a careful calculation. It seemed like he would need 15 parts spatial water to effect a change. Zhao was very satisfied with the result. Although there was still room for improvement, he could already see that the power of the spatial water was very strong. He then took some of the spatial earth he had dug up and dumped some of it on another pile of black soil. The black soil immediately changed. But the results were somewhat different than the changes from the spatial water. After the transformation, the black soil had a more fertile look. And the ratio needed to change the black soil was 10 parts spatial earth to 1 part black soil. Zhao then turned to the third pile of black soil. This time he used both the spatial earth and water with the ratio of 1:9 to see if that would improve the black soil. Success. There was an immediate change in the black soil, but it seemed to be no different than using the spatial water alone. Then he tried a ratio of 8:2, but the result was still the same. Likewise with the 7:3 ratio. It was only when he tried the 4:6 ratio that the black soil finally transformed into fertile black earth. The effects of this test was very reasonable because he had discovered the best way to improve the black soil without too much waste. With such a test result, Zhao was satisfied. He put the bucket back in place and the spatial earth he had dug up back into the ground. He then left the spatial farm. Returning to his room, he sat there, thinking about how good of a harvest he had on this trip to his farm space. His level had risen, it was now possible to cultivate new land and sow the ground if he wanted to, and he had calculated the best ratio to improve the black soil without too much waste. Now he knows how to proceed. It was now April. With time, he should be able to improve enough of the Black Lands to get ready for the spring farming season. In his spatial farm he had 200 gold coins, 6 bags of hay seeds, 2 bok choy seed bags, 2 bags of corn seeds, 2 wheat seed bags, and about 80,000 kati of radishes. This will definitely help improve the Buda clan. Fortunately, the seeds could be taken out of the space. That was to say, once he improved the Black Waste, he could start planting the seeds outside the spatial farm. While thinking of this, Zhao walked out of his room. He wanted the land to be measured as soon as possible. Just outside the door, he saw Blockhead and Rockhead standing in front of him like a pair of gatekeepers. Zhao nodded at the two. "Blockhead, go fetch some rope and a ruler." Blockhead did not know why these things were needed, but he immediately went to go get them. When they were exiled to the Black Waste, there was nothing to help them cope with the situation, so Green had to prepare all kinds of things needed to live, like food and seeds and a variety of supplies, such as ropes and a ruler. Rockhead was still by Zhao. "Master, now lunch time. Grandma Marian prepare lunch for you. Go." Zhao was surprised for a moment. It was already noon, and he did feel a bit hungry. Blockhead did not take long to find what he was looking for, and once he returned, Zhao nodded and said, "Well, it's time to eat lunch." The two followed him to the castle's dining room. When they made it there, Marian and Meg had already set down the cutlery. Marian greeted Zhao. "Master, you're up? I was about ready to send Meg to come get you so we could have lunch." "Grandma Marian, in the afternoon, tell the slaves to stop cleaning the mines for now. They could do that tomorrow. It's not like we'll have a shipment of blue-eyed rabbits anytime soon. Right now I want to use a ruler and some rope to measure about 1 mu of black land and mark it down. It is spring, right? We have to seize the moment." Marian made an ugly face. "Master, the Black Waste simply cannot be cultivated. Although we brought a lot of seeds, we can only try to grow those seeds in the mountains. Trying to grow them in these dead lands would be a waste. There's no point in measuring it." Zhao smiled and said, "Don't worry, Grandma Marian. I have a way to improve the Black Waste, allowing the black soil to become fertile ground." Marian's eyes lit up. "Master, is what you say true? Do you really have a way to improve the black soil and make it fertile?" Her voice was trembling with excitement. The Black Waste was the largest area in the Ikshu Empire, about a full 1/3 of the empire's entire size. However, it wasn't wanted by the empire because it was a land of death. But if it could be cultivated, if this black land could really grow crops, then what will become of this? It would become the richest land throughout the Ikshu Empire, a place many people would be envious of. The Ark continent had a magic civilization where people mostly focused on things like magic and martial arts. But regardless of any era, agriculture was a fundamental part of a country. This was an indisputable fact. Magic might make you strong, but you can't eat it. If your martial arts level was high, you still have to eat. Even if it's a rich country, it would be impossible to grow if the country did not make food a national priority. That country would be completely weak and easily conquered by other nations. The country would just perish away. The most important reason why Marian was so excited was because of what took place during the exile. In order to make sure the Buda clan had no chance to turn the family around, King Ikshu had a temple messenger, as a witness of God, watch over the agreement that the Black Waste would permanently become the Buda clan's fief. Do not underestimate the significance of this. Because the agreement was witnessed by a messenger, it would also be recognized by the temple, so it would be under God's testimony. Anyone who would dare to violate this would be disrespectful to God, and would be punished under his wrath. Many saw this as a way to permanently exile the Buda clan, but looking at it another way, It could also mean that if the Akshu Empire wanted the Black Waste back, they would have no power to do so. Think about it, what would this piece of land look like after Zhao's improvement? Zhao would become a powerful person who owned the biggest piece of land in the entire Ark continent. How could Mirin not be excited? If Zhao really could improve this land, the Buda clan would be the richest and most powerful family in the Ark continent.